I'm hoping that Arctic Cat's not pricing themselves out of business.
All of a sudden it's like, oh, whoa, what's going on here? Dealerships, you walk in empty, right? Everything was completely sold out. Now you go into a dealership and it's like, rebate this, rebate that. They got rebates on carbides.
Yeah, you got it.
Everything's on sale.
For sure. No snow, it's tough to sell a snowmobile when you don't have enough snow. And I'm going to flat out say it. I think the Alpha Rail, our country in general, and I think the future's looking pretty bright. Hope so.
Sorry, I would love to buy this. No twin rail, no me.
If I was to purchase a brand new snowmobile today,
we wouldn't mind seeing an 858 under our Christmas tree though either.
You know, I'm always wishful.
We're rolling.
Okay, here we go. All right, guys, welcome back to Old School Arctic Cats. For those of you new to the channel, I'm Rocky. Today's going to be a little bit different format. We obviously not in my garage, and we don't have a snowmobile in the background. To introduce my co-host, this is Quinn.
Howdy, y'all.
Kind of had some big news come across the internet yesterday about, that letter that Arctic Cat sent out to all the dealers saying that they were going to eliminate a bunch of positions at their Thief River Falls location. Sounds like they're going to be stopping production on their 2025 models until later on next year. So,
what other location do they have?
It's a good point. I don't really know of any other. Thief River Falls is the only one that I'm aware of, but it just says that they're Thief River Falls location. So I don't know if Textron has another facility that they do some minor, maybe the engines are built in another facility or some other part of Minnesota, I guess. But
Minnesota's got all the celebrities, doesn't it?
Yeah, they always do.
Is it Polaris there?
Polaris is there.
Obviously the Sea Boys.
Our Sea Boys
repping their shirt.
Sea Boys are out there. That's one of the things that I really want to try and make it out.
Heydays.
And go see Heydays for sure.
Yeah.
Because I would really like to go out and see. I think you can go do a tour and go tour the Arctic Cat facility and watch their snowmobiles be manufactured, their foilers, their side-by-sides, depending on what time of year. I think you can schedule a tour and actually watch
ride one down the assembly line.
Maybe there's a testing ground. But yeah, that'd be super fun. But yeah,
right on. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Right? It just happened. They announced it yesterday.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing, especially with the 858 just coming out. But there's anyway, like Quinn said, we can get back into that. But a little bit about myself too, you guys, that I wanted to kind of to hit on was I'm a blue collar worker. I actually I weld for a living. I've been welding since I was 17. I work for a really good company. We actually specialize in high-end railing and stairs. We do a lot of work for the LDS Church, the Mormons. They build temples. They announce them every 6 months. We get involved with that. We're involved in a big project here in Salt Lake City, Utah, at Temple Square. It's where the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints have their headquarters. The company I work for, we're fencing in basically the whole city block and doing all the handrails within. So a little bit about my project. Yeah.
Huge. What is it, 4-5 year project?
Yeah, I want to say it's been, I think to this point, it's up to about 4.5 years so far. And I think there's about 2 years more to go. It's definitely, I think it's the largest project going on in Utah probably ever. It's been a big renovation, a lot of seismic renovations they're doing on the LDS temple there in Salt Lake. It's been around since the 1800s, so it's a pretty delicate project. But
well, I bet they've seen some snowstorms.
Yeah,
the church
for
planted their roots right here in the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah,
right where snowmobiling. You would think the headquarters of snowmobiling would be in the place with the best snow.
Yep.
It's not.
Yeah.
The Midwest is like home for that.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
anyways, yeah, good snow out here.
Yeah, so it's keeps me busy for sure. I got a pretty large family. I got 4 kids. I got 3 girls and a boy. I'm married. I'm just full of life right now. I'm right in the thick of it, trying to balance work and trying to balance family time and might share my passion and my hobby of old school Arctic cats. It's just kind of a dream come true. It's been so much fun trying to share my passion and share my knowledge with everybody. But yeah, I hope Arctic Cat can kind of pull through and kind of keep around. I've been hoping that things would kind of turn for the better when they came out with the 858, right? Like, hopefully they were kind of turning a corner, but snowmobiles are expensive,
Way
There's
expensive.
just power sports in general. I would say across the board, whether you're going side by sides or play with ATVs or go with the snow sport. Things are just expensive, and I'm hoping that Arctic Cat's not pricing themselves out of business.
Right.
So
Well, the whole snowmobile industry as a whole, granted, take this into consideration. We're in a recession. We'll just say it, right?
yeah,
Things are not like they were a few years ago when it kind of seemed like we were just headed for the moon, right? Everyone just had deep pockets. It was like anytime a snowmobile would pop up on Facebook, it'd be on there for 2 minutes.
yeah, for sure.
And you would have to overbuy it. Like
Yep.
it was a weird time, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, whoa, what's going on here? Sleds are sitting for months on the market.
Yeah, and it's obviously with COVID a few years ago, it seemed like all snowmobiles and all, everybody had a little stimulus money and,
Right.
everybody had time. And, when you have time and money, you usually get out and start doing stuff. So snowmobiles and everything kind of gained value there for a minute. And
Super popular too.
it was almost hard to buy them because they were going so fast, when you were paying inflated prices and everything else. But it feels like the time and the money has kind of gone away, but the expenses stayed,
Yeah.
and that's across the board, whether you're doing buying groceries or paying expensive rent, or now, people got into houses that are super expensive with high interest rates. And I think snowmobiling for me is important enough that I want to pay attention to it and talk about it, because it is my hobby and I don't want to just, see anything happen to it. And for me, it's a family sport. I try to get my family involved, and the only way I know how to do that is by purchasing these cheap old school snowmobiles.
The old iron.
For me, I can't afford a brand new sled like that. And, I'd rather have 5 or 6 older used ones that are still in really good shape than have one really nice one. So
I agree. Yeah, during that time, I remember dealerships, you walk in empty, right? Everything was completely sold out.
yeah,
Hey, I just broke, or I need some high faxes.
yeah,
3-month wait.
yeah.
What? What's going on here? I might as well just, yeah, I don't, it was such a weird time. And now you go into a dealership and it's like rebate this, rebate that. They got rebates on carbides.
Yeah, you got
Everything's
it
on sale.
for sure. But I don't know if I kind of wish that, I don't know. It's hard to say because in the western side of things, I think it's a little different than back east. The different style of riding, the different. We get snow every year. Another big part of this is weather. No snow, it's tough to sell a snowmobile when you don't have enough snow.
Yeah.
And weather patterns seem like they're a little bit different now. Like I said, we're fortunate. We live in the mountains. We can pretty much count on we're getting some snow, or we're going to be in trouble come summertime when we really need it. But it can be pretty scarce, I think, on the eastern side of the country. So
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Yeah, I wonder if like snowmobile sales are better out here in the West overall. I'm sure they're in a dip right now,
Yeah.
but I wonder if snowmobile sales are in a huge valley in places that snow is a little more inconsistent.
Oh, definitely. And I think we're starting to see dealerships are starting to close down in certain areas that aren't seeing as much snow and different things, or seeing fewer supply and demand, for dealerships. And I see a lot of them starting to go out of business, and that's kind of alarming,
Yeah.
because Amazon is a big part of it. You don't always have to go run to your dealer and go pay high prices for your oil or your snowmobile belts. That's the two biggest things that I purchase, and high faxes.
Yeah.
Amazon's pretty fair priced with that stuff now, so it's a competitive world out there for sure.
It is. I mean, yeah, are we going to see dealerships drop like flies? I can't help but mention farms, right?
Yeah.
Similar to that, right? Back, of course, I'm not that old, but hearing my dad and everything, there was farms everywhere back when he was growing up. There was the Johnson's farms and the Jensen's farms, and like the list was just forever long. But now it's like, gosh, I might could name 3 or 4 farms offhand.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's the way dealerships are going, and it's got to be. You'll see our video Sunday. You'll see our video. We just did a cool video with a guy that used to be an Arctic Cat dealer.
Yeah.
And pretty much got priced out of the business as well.
Yeah, for sure. And another thing that's tough to not hard to sell snowmobiles is I'm a big believer in race day, and I think if your brand is performing well on race day, that helps promote your brand and your particular snowmobile and your technology that your brand is pushing is if you're winning on race day. So I wish I had a chance to actually go to Jackson Hole and see the World Championship snowmobile hill climb there. It's the Ramshaw circuit.
Yeah.
And Arctic Cat had a booth there, and they had some catalysts there. That was when the 2023 is when I went. So they had the 2024 Catalyst 600 there in their booth. Mm-hmm. They had the ZR 600 in their booth. They had the Riot was in their booth. And, I was really excited to go see what they had. And I was really curious to see if the racers were going to be riding the new Catalyst. And a few of them were. But I would say that they were in the kind of bottom tier when it came to actually winning the race. Now, whether that was, I have my theory is, and I'm going to flat out say it, I think the Alpha Rail is kind of an acquired taste for people. When it comes right down to it, I see that the Alpha Rail, it just can't take the abuse of some of these racetracks that these riders are under, the conditions. Yep. It's only snow for, about 6 riders. Then it's got dirt, rocks, stumps, and you are wide open smacking this stuff. And
you're riding that thing. Your skis are like this.
You got it.
Right, you're right in that rail.
Yeah, and Jackson Hole, Snow King Mountain is extreme, you guys. I don't know if anybody has an opportunity to go check out that event and that venue. It is incredible, and it is steep, and I've seen a lot of videos on it on YouTube, but seeing it for yourself and going up actually on the hill, it puts a whole new perspective. It was way more technical and extreme than what I could even imagine, and I saw that some of these Arctic Cat riders were actually taking the Alpha Rail out and putting an aftermarket rear skid in where it had the twin rail, simply because it carved better. It could hold its edge, and I think there's controversy with that, but that from my perspective, that's what I saw. Twin rails were dominating, right down with Keith Curtis, and Riley Kincaid has a single rail and twin rail, and I asked him in one of our videos what he preferred, and he said the twin rail bites a little better on those hard tracks, you know.
Yeah, I wonder, is Textron brewing up the wrong soup here, right? We've got Alpha Rail, we've got naturally aspirated snowmobiles when the Skidoo, Polaris are all turbo.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and I can kind of see not wanting to warranty those extra moving parts, if you will, with the turbo. I could see maybe leaving that up to the aftermarket companies to have a chance to, you know, maybe better the performance on them, so you're not doing an upgrade later on. And you know, I think it's a little early to say with the 858, but from what I've heard, they're pretty competitive with the turbos. But I don't know at 10,000 feet, because that's where a turbo is really going to shine, is when there's lack of oxygen up that high. Turbos are compensating for that, whereas the 858's not going to have that. But yeah, I don't know what to say as far as performance wise. I think it's just a less warranty kind of thing that they have to worry about. But I wish that Arctic Cat they need to have a second option.
Yeah.
They need to have a second option so that racers that are buying these twin rail systems for their sled, they're no longer in the stock class anymore. They're now in something new, probably the mod class, because I don't even think you can have an aftermarket skid and run in the improved class, because your sled has to appear to be stock, but you can have some motor modifications and stuff and still be improved. But now you're having to jump all the way into something that's more money, more expense, more time, to more tuning for your sled, you know, more competitive, you know, bracket. But I was actually...
Let's read that letter real quick.
Yeah, we can definitely read it. So this is the dealer communication. I had Quinn print this off, and we can kind of read through it a little bit. But so this was on November 13th, 2024. It says, "Dear valued dealers, today we initiated workforce reductions across our power sports business in response to the difficult business conditions facing Arctic Cat and the greater power sports industry. These actions include the elimination of numerous positions across our business. In addition, we will pause production at our Thief River Falls facility after production of our model year 2025 snowmobile lineup is completed. We expect to resume production in Q1 of 2025. These actions were tough but necessary given the current conditions in our industry. We are offering severance benefits to affected employees, including outplacement assistance to help them find new opportunities. We remain open for business. Our sales organization, customer service teams, aftermarket distribution centers, and other functions are ready to assist you and your customers. If you have any questions about the news, please contact your Arctic Cat Territory sales representative." Another thought to this, and I was actually talking to my dad.
We'll get him on here.
Yeah,
that guy has green in his veins.
Yes, he does. Yeah, Clint Bruder, man, he's all about Team Arctic, and that's he's super fun to hang out with and talk about old school snowmobiles with. He thinks, there's been some word about Textron selling Arctic Cat. You know, John Deere's been thrown out there. CF Moto's been thrown out there.
CF Moto, I believe, has a plant or mainly distributes out of Minnesota, actually. Did you know that?
Oh, my gosh.
I believe. Roast me if you want. But
correct us if we're wrong.
I've seen their name next to the word Minnesota before.
Okay. So, my dad's thinking that this might be kind of cleaning house a little bit for a new company to kind of take over and step in. And
have we seen this before in the industry? Yamaha didn't do it. They just kind of exit stage left. But it kind of makes sense, though.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
Yeah, I would say, I feel like Textron maybe is, in my opinion, a little divided. I think they have other interests in a lot of other areas, and I think Arctic Cat sometimes gets put on the back burner and kind of the afterthought it feels.
What else are they involved in?
They do golf carts.
Oh, really?
I think they do have some kind of hand in miniature or smaller aircraft, like helicopters and things. Anyways, kind of in the outdoorsy type field, but they have their hands in quite a few other things as well. And I just don't know if they can give Arctic Cat the full attention that they need and deserve. But I mean, John Deere, if that's kind of an interesting case. They were in the snowmobiling world back in, I think, the 70s.
Good old liquid fire
and a few things. So they've been around the snowmobile world a minute ago, but it's super competitive right now. And I mean, it's a shame that we lost Yamaha after so many years, and I just hope Arctic Cat's not going down that same road.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, so have they wrapped up their productions for this year? Is this right? They've already shipped snowmobiles?
That's what it kind of sounds like. It sounds like they're just, they've made what they're going to make, and then they'll kind of have to reevaluate sometime in the next few months in the beginning of the year. But as of now, what the dealers have is what the dealers are going to get. It's what it sounds like. And they're just like, hey, we're still going to support you and be your customer service and blah, blah, blah. But there's not going to be an endless amount of sleds on the back end. And that's kind of what goes in with snow checking as well. And I know that on a smart business aspect, you don't want to have a surplus of inventory that you're having to, store and all of a sudden sell at a huge discounted price at the end. And that's kind of why I'm a little surprised with this too, is because Arctic Cat, you had to put $1,000 down, if I remember right, if you were going to get a Catalyst 858, and they were only going to build as people snow checked them. So with a couple extras, I'm sure, of one model or another, but there's not going to be a big surplus of extra snowmobiles kicking around. So I think it'll be interesting to see what comes for the next couple months.
This isn't new to snowmobiling, the power sports, sport in general. I'm sure everyone's had layoffs. I've heard about Polaris. I've heard about Skidoo. I don't know when the last one was, but this one to me doesn't come as a surprise.
Yeah, I think we're kind of coming off of a tough 4 years, our country in general, and I think the future's looking pretty bright. Hope so. I mean, I hope that things can kind of turn around, and people aren't so pressured to have to be at work all the time, or have all their resources going towards the bare minimum funding to live. I'm hoping that people have a little extra in their pocket to not only help the snowmobile industry, but to help like the car industry and everything else. that is our American economy, a big part of it, and cheap fuel prices help with that. Cheap interest rates help with that, and I hope that is in our future.
Yeah, I know. Gosh, we have a pretty split audience of you guys, right? We have a ton of people from Canada.
Oh, true.
So
thank you guys for coming from Canada.
What do they make up? 30?
I think it's about 30%.
30%.
Yeah, that's quite a bit.
It's incredible.
That is cool. Yeah, thank you, Canada.
Yeah.
Especially supporting Arctic Cats up there, I mean, you got Can-Am and Skidoo and Bombardier, so appreciate that.
Yeah.
For your guys' support, for sure.
Yeah, it's like I said, I don't think this comes as a surprise. I think we could see it coming with Arctic Cat. The 858, I think, was hoping to be somewhat of a savior in a lot of people's eyes, right? That it would come in, it would be this, I mean, hopefully take the industry by storm, this new motor.
Yeah, and people, spark enough interest that people buy enough sleds to make it worth it. But
I can't tell you how many times I read down through comment after comment. Sorry, I would love to buy this. No twin rail, no me.
Yeah.
No purchase.
Yeah, for
Can't
sure.
tell you. I mean, that's just talk on the internet, but I tend to think there's some truth there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of them. I mean, if I was to buy a brand new, and I got a catalog right here, and I've been looking at it. This is the 2025. These are at dealerships. If I was to purchase a brand new snowmobile today, I think it would have to be the Riot. It's probably the one that I would choose. It's kind of, it says right here, crossover. It's kind of a hybrid between trail and mountain. It has a 146 track. I mean, a lot of my snowmobiles have short tracks anyway, so I would try and adapt to that a little bit, if I had to buy one today, just because the Alpha rail,
Does it have a twin rail?
It does have a twin rail.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What does it look like? Let me see that thing.
Yeah, it's has all the awesome features and stuff as the ZR basically, some differences, but it's just right in between the ZR and the the mountain sleds. So
It's kind of your Fire Cat.
kind of like the Fire Cat. I would say it's more like the Crossfire.
Okay.
The Crossfire was right in between the Fire Cat and the M series, but yeah, I'd be interested to rip one of those around for sure. I love the new Garmin gauge. We had a chance to see that, and you'll see that in the new video.
Yeah, that looks like Tony Stark stuff. It looks sharp.
It did look sharp. It looked like okay, we're kind of getting out of the analog stage, and we're actually going to have something that's fun to navigate with, and something that you can connect with other riders around you. And I mean, that was a pretty good plus. Plus the electric start, I saw that on there. That was kind of a cool feature too. But
Yeah, interesting times. I really hope. I honestly, I don't think I'd be sad to see Arctic Cat get acquired by someone else.
wouldn't either. Let's have another fresh approach on it.
Right.
Maybe some fresh ideas, and maybe have someone maybe pay a little closer attention to what us consumers are asking for. So that's a big part of it.
Yeah, I can't help but think Chris Brandt, right? When he likes something, he says it, and he'll say it in his videos, and then all of a sudden, the next model year, you'll see that on Polaris, right? That's incredible that they can listen, change, improve, right? A guy that's out there riding 100+ days a year, he's probably gonna know a little bit about the product.
You bet.
A little bit.
Yeah.
He has the most seat time out of anyone.
Yeah, I would say so.
So whatever that is, I don't know if Arctic Cat's got it right now, unfortunately.
Well, he also just like what you said, he has the support. Arctic Cat has a lot of talent too, and I think there's a lot of talent that we haven't even tapped into. It's just the other brands have the support for those racers, so they kind of are turning a blind eye to Arctic Cat a little because they need that support. You need to be able to adapt easier and I don't know, the race. I like what I said earlier. I'm a firm believer on race day and how your brand is represented on that day. So, well, hopefully we get some competition and we can start winning some races and start making another name. I mean, that is what Arctic Cat was built off of. The ZR alone has won more snowcross races than I can ever remember from when I was a kid. It was a sea of green. Another one that I feel that Arctic Cat lost their foothold that I want to see back, man, Yellowstone National Park. When I was a kid, 2-strokes were allowed in the park, unguided. I rode in Yellowstone National Park on a 90, gosh, first time was on a 96 ZR 580 EFI with my dad. I was 7 or 8 years old. Super cool experience. But you would see Arctic cats everywhere when you were kind of going through there, so much as the EPA was getting more strict and the noise ordinance, they were starting to have 4 strokes, snowmobiles and such. Arctic cat had the Yellowstone Special, it was called.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was specifically designed. It was a 2-seater sled. It was designed to tour through Yellowstone National Park, and right now it's just a sea of skidoo now, and which is tough to see. I think that's another market that Arctic Cat's kind of lost, is making it a family friendly sport. And again, that's a lot of it's to do with price, and a lot of it's also not keeping up with what maybe the latest restrictions or whatever with the EPA to kind of get people back into the sport like that.
Yeah, so. I know a lot of you guys listening, if you watch the channel, we ride just 20-year-old old school Arctic Cats. That's the name of the channel. So we actually, not very often do we talk about Arctic Cat's current state.
Yeah.
Because it's not really, it is a little bit kind of the premise of the channel, though. We're trying to shine a light on almost not try to hide what's going on right now, but
yeah,
hey, back in 2000 and the 90s,
yeah,
looked a little brighter than right now, right?
You bet it did. Yeah, and Quinn mentioned fire cats. Anybody that knows anything about a fire cat knows that they are very iconic, and they are a muscle sled. Very collectible. They really put their stamp on performance, especially back then. Ski-Doo had their Rev that came out in 2003, 2003 and a half, actually. They had their 800 and 600, I believe. Arctic Cat had their Fire Cats come out in 2003. They did a soft production in 2002 on their ZR 440. They had the lay down motor where they had the exhaust and the intake at the front of the snowmobile. I don't know what that's called exactly. Someone can educate me on that, but they were getting high horsepower numbers on the same displacement and in a lighter chassis, more nimble, superior suspension. I mean, you could jump these things forever. And so that kind of had a soft launch in 2002 with their ZR, and that was kind of their snowcross sled. And then in 2003, the Fire Cat, it was the F7 and the F5 that came out. They had some insane kind of decal packages. They had the American flag, they had the Saber Cat, they had the Canadian flag, they had the fighter jet, they had the iconic one that I have now, the original with all the green. But they were just creating 800 type performance out of a 700. Because, as you guys know, Arctic Cat was kind of lethargic with their 700s. The Wildcat was a big bang back in the early 90s, and then it kind of faded off. And then the RMK 700 was really dominating that class. The Ski-Doo 670 was really ripping. Arctic Cat was kind of, hanging back. Yamaha had their VMAX or their Mountain Max 700. Arctic Cat's like, well, crap, we got to have something in that class. So they just threw, kind of the Wildcat motor. They put a single pipe, some digital ignition on it, and it just wasn't quite as potent as they were hoping. But man, when they came out with that Fire Cat, it was like leaped ahead of everybody. So that's kind of the Arctic Cat that I remember. That's the Arctic Cat that I want, and that's the Arctic Cat that I believe in. So I hope I'm waiting patiently for that to come back around, and I think it will, but only time will tell.
In the meantime, we'll just keep on rolling with this old school Arctic
We'll
Cat
just
stuff.
we'll just keep highlighting what was amazing. So and
Yeah.
we'll hit on the good stuff, the good times.
I hope we can get out on 858 this year.
Yeah, me too.
I think we will.
I think the opportunity will arise. I would love to have my Thundercat meet in 858 and maybe that new Firecat and kind of play around a little and see what we really got there. But yeah, it would be fun to squeeze the throttle on an 858 for sure.
Yeah, Arctic Cat, if you're watching, I know things aren't looking good at headquarters, but hey,
we're behind you. We hope that you guys are sticking around and things are looking bright. Even given this kind of circumstance, but
we wouldn't mind seeing an 858 under our Christmas tree though either.
You know, I'm always wishful. You know, I mean, this is just full of wish list items, but you know, we'll see what happens. See if Santa's good to us this year or not.
That's right.
So,
well, Rocco, we've probably beat the Arctic Cat to death.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know.
I think we just have to pray for snow at this point, right? Just kind of
Pretty
pray
much.
for snow, and hopefully our future's white and deep. So
That's right. We have snow in our mountains here.
yeah,
I don't know how much. I would guess maybe 6 inches to a foot at most at the peak.
yeah,
But we do have snow, and I don't know. Our snowpack's a little weird. It seems like we'll get a skiff or a decent snowfall, and then sometimes it'll warm up again right around Thanksgiving.
yep.
And sometimes that snow doesn't make it in our snowpack. But I don't know. This year's already pretty cold. It's staying cold at night, and because I watch it close. I clean garbage cans for a living, and so I have trucks that have water in them, and yeah, I watch that temperature every night. So I'm watching the forecast.
Quinn's the weatherman.
That's right.
Anyway, in closing, guys, I appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and thank you for on this adventure. And there's plenty more to come from Old School Arctic Cat. So appreciate it.
Thanks for watching, guys.